What's up, family? Get this video a big thumbs up. So we got Candace Parker in the building, and it seems like she is very jealous of the Caitlin Clark effect. Now, we all know Caitlin Clark has been very impactful with the WNBA, also changing the whole trajectory of the league, right? Phenomenal. She's a phenom. However, Candace Parker had voiced her opinion in regards of that trajectory change. Now, Candace Parker, just to add a little bit of context, a little bit of backstory, she is a three-time WNBA champion and two-time MVP, and she had a illustrious career in the WNBA as she was one of the individuals to win Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year. Also, she is a GOAT in regards of being impactful, and she retired on April 28th, 2024 of this year. However, it seemed like she was a little bit jealous or a little bit salty, so to say. And I'm not talking about eating pretzels type of salty, but I'm talking about salty to the point where she just mad because she didn't get that charter flight experience that Kathleen Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, put in effect to change the trajectory of the league in regards of travel when it came to the WNBA. She did voice a lot of concerns. She voiced other things like not having much active recovery time, as when she did land in the time where there was no charter flights, in which Caitlin Clark has changed the league to have charter flights now today. She talked about how she didn't have much time in regards of the WNBA schedule requiring them to play back-to-back games, a little bit time of active recovery. But I do have on the screen, as you guys can see, the interview, but I want to pull up the report as it been reported in regards of Candace Parker being interviewed at Bloomberg, which was her recent interview. She sat down with them. The article goes on to say, quote unquote, pissed. Candace Parker highlights WNBA's $50 million perk launch after Caitlin Clark shares credit for recently popularity surge. Quote unquote, above everything else, I think it's the safety of our players. Phoenix Mercury's Natisha Cloud have a pin in May this year as she welcomed a landmark decision set to change the face of the WNBA. As conversations around the players' overall well-being came to the forefront, intensified by the attention Caitlin Clark gets publicly, the league decided it would finally give what the community was long asking for, a full-time charter flight service for its teams. The players were happy, the league was happy, fans were happy. However, amid all of this, some couldn't help but feel remorse that the decision didn't come earlier. And one of them is former basketball player Candace Parker, who had unfortunately retired just a month prior to the announcement. During her career, the 38-year-old has been a three-time WNBA champion, a seven-time All-WNBA first team, a two-time WNBA MVP, along with one count of being the finals MVP, among various other iconic achievements. Yet some regrets, or rather complaints, still say, in a conversation on Bloomberg original show on November 6th, the Parkers sat down with Jason Kelly and former basketball Alex Rodriguez to discuss her career and retirement, where she detailed how the WNBA was falling far behind compared to leagues in Russia. However, before we get to that part, at one point, Kelly asked her, quote unquote, you're both the Rookie of the Year and the MVP, so you're not a scrub player. You are literally the best player. And this is the economics of the situation. So fast forward just for a minute, do you have some measure of cognitive dissonance then? Looking at where the W is now and thinking about what is not that long ago, pointing out the perks her successors currently enjoy. To this, the veteran highlighted the screeniest routine they had to follow during the season. Quote unquote, she goes on to say, well, I'm pissed that they started chartering the year I retire. I'm not going to lie, because our back-to-backs used to be, we will play and then we'll go to sleep and then we'll wake up to the 6 a.m. flight and then we'll still play the next day. Yeah, it makes me a little angry because it would have been nice to, for your body to kind of catch that charter flight. For the unversed, the league plans to invest $50 million, in parentheses, $25 million each for 2 seasons for the next 2 years to provide full-time charter flight service for its teams during the season. This essentially means no getting up early, no queues, waiting, or layovers. And That's what she had to say. I know the article says many more, but we will listen to the interview and I will show you guys on the screen as it has been presented on X. So I do have 2 clips to show you guys. However, what's mind-blowing to me, folks, is that why be angry if the league is going in a direction of changing and let alone evolving, right? What is there to be angry about? Because if you think about it, if the league's evolving, you had to be part of that impact to be one of the successors, let alone the GOAT of the WNBA, to even let other players impact and other phenomenal individuals a part of the WNBA impact to recognize and have the type of dialogue be taking place to be like, oh, we need to give these players what they deserve from the work that they put in, right? It's a capitalistic environment. You eat what you kill, and you level the playing field, and at the end of the day, you get out what you put in, and that's what anything in life, right? So I don't know why be angry. If anything, show gratitude, because at the end of the day, the visibility you have was given to you by knowing you as being an impactful player. As I have mentioned, she did have a luxurious career. So the league did leave you with something, and there's a trade-off, right? Because at the end of the day, they left you to have this enormous amount of visibility to be an amazing commentator to continue on NBA and ESPN. And I wish her nothing but best on her commentating career. But with that goes to say, family, I want you guys to check out what she had to say in this footage, all right?
ABC, it was the first time they put the women's NCAA game on ABC. Was the first year that Caitlin Clark made the championship game. Are you surprised that the viewership was up? Are you surprised that people actually saw the product? It was buried for so long on ESPN. There's so many times during the NCAA game and even WNBA playoffs, I turn on, the NBA doesn't want to clash with NFL playoffs or NFL opening week. So why would we then put the WNBA, I don't care if that's the time slot that they're giving you. Let's fight for another one, or let's find something else. And I think with streaming, with social media, now it's more front and center. You're seeing the leaders of, and I'm sorry, I'm passionate about this. So,
Go.
Now you look at statistics within social media and following, and it's Paige Beckers. She had more followings than Suggs, who was a top 4 pick. She had more following than Anthony Edwards when he was coming into the league. So now you're able to look at social media and see what the following is, the clicks, the likes, what they're selling, what people are looking for. And you're now able to see that, okay, wait, women can sell things. And I think that is my role, is to continue to push the envelope of what that looks like, of visibility, but also like having relationships to be able to build what you're trying to build.
Well, family, I have a question, and I want to ask you guys, and comment down in the comment section. She spoke a lot about visibility, right? But think about this. The NBA has been successful in regards to being very international. It's international outreach or universal outreach in regards of leveraging social media. But the WNBA being so of a dinosaur league, and individuals like Cheryl Swoops and Cheryl Reeve, who gave pushback talking about Caitlin Clark in a bad light when she actually impacted and changed the game enormously better than they ever could, along with her accolades. And not to take away or discredit any of them, they all are amazing, and they all have been a staple in the game of the WNBA. But you should be happy that another person that's being a staple, a part of the greatness that you're a part of, to continue to impact the WNBA in the right direction, and which you all guys had to go through. So eventually, someone had to sacrifice and go through something that was very unwanted to eventually grow the league to get what's wanted, right? That's part of evolving. There's always going to be a sacrifice for those before to come, for those before, and then those to come. So Candace Parker was just part of those individuals that put in the work and sacrifice, along with the trajectory in which the WNBA was going in at that time, to then have the impact to help those to come, like a Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? like Paige Buckers and all these individuals that are coming to the league now. And you guys are just now starting to actually leverage the social media to bring more visibility to y'all league. And that's why you have an individual like me, my first time being so engaged and so interested in the WNBA ever than before, and many other individuals, is because Caitlin Clark and her following came along as they follow along with this new social media age that has already existed. You guys are just catching up with the time as a league and starting to involve and integrate that social media standpoint to leverage, to have more visibility, to be a successful league. So at the end of the day, if you want to hold anybody to the fire or the mire, hold yourselves, because you have individuals like Cheryl Swoops who is giving all this backlash to Caitlin Clark because of, oh, she's not successful or she's not as good as a basketball player because she haven't put her time in. But at the end of the day, we focus on the basketball skills and IQ, and her skills is the whole thing in which brought visibility to herself from the ground up and getting it out the mud and being successful as she is. And she's actually showing you that I can bring value to this league without this league actually giving me visibility and bring value to me, because I already done came with it. So I feel like it's just a hater standpoint in regards of, and there's nothing wrong with that you just got more visibility and being more impactful in the league when you got to the league to have the visibility to even know who you are. I didn't know who a Cheryl Swoops was until Caitlin Clark came along. I didn't know who a Candace Parker was. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, don't try to beat down somebody who already had their fan base came along to show that I'm valuable enough. And on top of it, the value being brought is even more special, because then Caitlin Clark is like, look, she can negotiate, right? She can make impact in regards of having these charter flights take place. Yeah, you had a luxurious career, Candace Parker. You were a staple in the WNBA. You done great things, but your value had to be shown over time in regards of you showing in the league your worth. Versus Caitlin Clark, she said, look, I'm already showing you at the forefront my credentials because it speaks for itself through all the backlash, through all the hate. So you are already bringing value and impact to the league that's more enormous than the league itself. I think the league better shut up and listen and take some game from the individual who has more of an impact for a league that's been around 20 plus years and ain't had no charter flights. I'm just saying, we're going to call a spade for a spade, right? But I want to show you guys a second clip as we scroll up, because she has some more to say. And I want to know you guys' thoughts and perspective down in the comments. Do y'all rock with me? Y'all agree with me? Disagree? I'm always open to the possibility of being wrong and give you guys perspective down in the comments below. But check this out.
You're literally the best player, and this is the economics of the situation. So fast forwarding just for a minute, do you have some measure of cognitive dissonance then, looking at where the W is now and thinking about what it was not that long ago? You're not an old person.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How do you process that?
Well, I'm pissed that they started chartering the year I retired. I'm not going to lie. Because our back-to-backs used to be, we would play, and then we'd go to sleep, and then we'd wake up to take the 6 a.m. flight, and then we'd still play the next.
Okay, let me stop her right there. That's like the NBA, right? Times have evolved, just like, for example, health and wellness, the importance of it has been more emphasized. Back then when Larry Bird played, go check out, my reactions of Larry Bird game and Michael Jordan and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is, when Larry Bird and Michael Jordan played, they played back to back to back. And they sacrificed and brought more visibility to the league and made the NBA greater than it ever has been. From the Larry Birds and the Magic Johnson, paving the way forward for Michael Jordan and taking it to another level with the shoe deal with Nike, right? So, and they had strenuous games due to exhaustion, but pushed through and had back-to-back-to-back games. to pave the way for a LeBron James who invests millions in his career in regards of his health and recovery being essential, right? So what I'm trying to say is times evolve, just like the medical field evolves, just like the expertise and the evaluation of how much healthcare and, tactics or systems have evolutionized to be greater than ever before when it comes to taking care of your health and health and wellness and stuff like that. Versus back then, you played, you worked your butt off, whether that's the NBA or the WNBA, and you got what you put in, and those individuals was just looking for a way to take care of their families. Not saying they weren't appreciated, but at the end of the day, they was just happy to make it. But like I said, the healthcare system and the innovation wasn't what it was then as it is now. So you can't be angry. If anything, you should be happy, because now you went through what other players don't have to go through. But at the end of the day, ultimately, they still got to show their skills at the forefront to show how valuable they can be in this league anyway, because they still there to do a job. You get paid to objectively do your job as a basketball player and be phenomenal in regards of doing your role and knowing your part, which impacts your team, because it's overall a team sport, for you guys to be successful, but also for you on your own merit to take that extra mile and also to continue to be innovative in your skills, in your game, to be phenomenal, to be a staple in the WNBA like a Candace Parker, like a Cheryl Swoops, like a Cheryl Reeve. They got to get the hate out their blood, man. They got to get the anger out their blood. You know what I'm saying? They got to stop it. But let's continue.
Next day.
Yeah.
So, it makes me a little angry, because it would have been nice to, for your body to kind of catch that charter flight. But I mean, I feel like all of us feel a responsibility and a part of the growth that's happening right now. I mean, the league was hard for so many years, and that's what I said when I retired. I hope that it's not so hard for the next, so difficult. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get better, but finding a gym that's open, that can be open, it was so hard out in LA. And I lived out here because we didn't have a practice facility. So more so, I'm mad because I'm thinking of how much better I could have been if I had an off season, if I didn't have to go overseas. And I could have put weight on, and I could have bulked up in the weight room and focused on what I wanted to improve on. But I also look at the doors that are opening now and where the sport is. And, I play with a lot of angry old heads, is what we call them. I work with a lot of angry old heads. I don't want to be the angry old head. So I'm not going to be, Shaq coming in like, oh, man up. I'm not going to be that. I'm going to be the person that's like, I'm happy where it's at. But man, like if I would have had NIL and college, you got to think about what if occasionally. And, but I'm happy for the doors that are open right now. And I hope to be a part of the process of continuing to open those doors.
Like I said, man, she's contradicting herself and sort of running into the Victim Olympics, because she mentioned that, she wished she could have balked up, and she's blaming the strenuous schedule. But if you dedicated to your game enough and you know how innovative you need to be, you're going to do what you need to do no matter what. No matter what life throws at you. At the end of the day, the requirements are the requirements. And at the end of the day, in her case, she needed the league more than the league needed her. The league wanted her. That's the difference. But she needed the league. Caitlin Clark don't need the league. The league wants her. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, family, she's sitting here saying she don't want to be angry, but she just clearly said and stated, as you guys seen, that she's angry. And obviously, the league gave you visibility as a trade-off, so I'm sure you can experience charter flights now more than ever, right? You ain't in the league no more, but you can afford it. You're a ESPN and a WNBA an NBA commentator, right? You're making good money. So what's to be mad? And then turn around and say, well, I'm happy those individuals don't have to experience what I experienced after me. And they're not, because they have charter flights now. But you mad because you didn't experience it, and you didn't want it to, you wanted them to experience it basically when you experienced it. So you wanted to experience first, so you mad because you didn't experience first, but you want others to experience after you. Why be mad at all? It just don't make no damn sense. That's my perspective on it. But like I said, I wish her a luxurious career with her commentating career. She's phenomenal. She know how to articulate herself. She know how to get her thoughts off very efficiently and effectively and respectfully and very clear and precise in what she stand on. But she just need to be more not so flip-floppy in what she's saying. And in regards of Shaq, I'm sure just like she regretted, like she said, in regards of not being able to experience charter flights, and she retired a month prior before the change. I'm sure it's a lot of things that Shaq was transparent and wished that he could have integrated in his game. He mentioned, for example, he wished he could shoot threes like a Klay Thompson and a Steph Curry. And you guys could go look this up. I'm not just saying this just to be saying this. Shaq said that out his own mouth. And it's not even that Shaq is angry. He's inspired. I think she needs to take advice from Shaq, to be honest, and get inspired. But anyway, family, give this video a big thumbs up. I'm out. Spread that peace, love, and positivity. As always, family,